With our old mate Conor McGregor set to return to the octagon later this year following a long injury layoff, he's been turning heads with his latest call-out. The Notorious has taken to Twitter recently to challenge none other than welterweight king Kamaru Usman, which could probably be best described as ill-advised. Today, we're discussing why Conor McGregor wants to go up against the Nigerian Nightmare, so don't go anywhere. First up, what did the Irishman have to say regarding Usman? If reports are to be believed, Conor McGregor will soon be back in competition, having also returned to full-time training. The Irishman, however, has raised eyebrows throughout the sport, claiming he wants to fight current welterweight champion Kamaru Usman. McGregor, a two-weight world champion in the past at featherweight and lightweight, has experience at welterweight, having beat Nate Diaz at 170 pounds in the past, but also has a loss against Diaz at the same weight. And he recently claimed in an interview on his YouTube channel that he was eyeballing the 170-pound title for his return fight. He went on to explain that he doesn't want to have to cut weight to get back to a division in which he has already been crowned king. So why not keep the weight he's acquired since being on the sidelines and challenge Usman? Well, Leon Edwards, Khamzat Chimaev, and others might have something to say about that, right? McGregor went on to reveal that he feels healthy and has good energy, and he doesn't want to go through another grueling training camp. He went on to describe Usman as jab-happy and sloppy, something which Kamaru Usman has probably never ever been described as in his life. McGregor also claims that he sees no danger in a matchup with Usman, which has led to some fans and people in the game asking if he has lost his marbles. What do you guys think? What else did McGregor have to say then? Stay tuned. Well, with Usman also recovering from a recent hand injury, the fight could theoretically be made for Fight Week in the summer. But that would negate Dana's claims back in January that Leon Edwards was next to challenge Usman. But McGregor, who became the first fighter in UFC history to hold two titles at the same time, has of course been known to jump the queue before. So Edwards might be right to be slightly worried. But White has also refused to comment on who McGregor fights next, which has led to people suggesting that he is waiting to announce McGregor versus Usman. Whilst giving an update on his current injury, McGregor said back in March, "Last summer, I could return, but I want to be true to myself and bring out the best in myself. I want to do this for my fans and the people supporting me. I want to show the best I can possibly be. I'm very excited. There is history to be made. This game needs to be shook up. Again, the Triple Crown has never been done. Surely, there is no conceivable way McGregor walks straight back into a title fight at welterweight. That would, of course, make a mockery of the ranking system, but write off Conor McGregor's power within the organization at your peril. Can you guys see McGregor taking on Usman for the welterweight crown sometime this year? Let us know below. So why does McGregor want the Usman fight so much? Let's see. It has been suggested that after being dismantled in back-to-back fights by Dustin Poirier last year, Conor McGregor no longer has the stomach for the fight at lightweight. Of course, as fighters age, it is more difficult to get to weight classes they once got down to with ease, so maybe Conor just doesn't fancy the weight cut any longer. A more conceivable reason is that he wants to be the first fighter in UFC history to win titles at 3 different weight classes, which he has previously referenced. And a move to welterweight would certainly suit McGregor, who has put on a ton of bulk recently, but that would mean he would also be in with a division full of legitimate killers. From Khamzat Chimaev to Leon Edwards, there is no easy fight in the welterweight division, so Conor could perhaps be given props for picking fights with guys who are naturally bigger than him. It also is possible that Conor wants to simply prove to himself that he still has what it takes to hang with the big boys in a higher weight class. Since becoming a millionaire many times over, it has been suggested that McGregor no longer has the hunger to put in the work needed to get to the very top. But of course, whatever his reason for picking a fight with Usman, it will definitely still get the fans watching. What do you guys think Conor's reasons are? Next up, a stark warning for Conor. Talking on his hit podcast recently, Joe Rogan has delivered a serious warning for Conor McGregor, telling the Irishman to be careful what you ask for. McGregor has stepped up his recovery recently, and whilst he suggested he will probably be fit and ready to go by the summer, Dana has poured cold water on that idea, saying it will likely be the autumn before we see Conor back in action. Having previously called out lightweight king Charles Oliveira, McGregor has now turned his attention to the welterweight division and its current champ, Usman. But Rogan has rubbished the idea of McGregor returning to an instant title fight with Usman after the champ said the fight would end in a murder scene. Rogan said of the idea, "Be careful what you ask for. Usman is a big man, and he's top of the food chain right now." However, McGregor is certainly big enough right now to challenge Usman, having claimed to have weighed in around 190 pounds back in December. But questions remain as to whether or not he is still part of the elite he was once king of. Most people within the sport would suggest not, which means he would certainly be no match for many people's current pound-for-pound number 1, Kamaru Usman. What do you guys guys make of Rogan's warning for McGregor? Let us know below. Mike Tyson has weighed in on the Irishman now. Stay tuned to hear what he had to say. Tyson, who is no stranger to controversy himself, has this week given his thoughts on the Conor McGregor situation. Talking on his own podcast, Hot Boxing, Iron Mike suggested that the former champ no longer has the stomach for a fight due to his incredible wealth. Tyson went on to claim that the Irishman's lifestyle means he's no longer a member of MMA's elite, and the sheer fortune he has amassed since becoming double champion would be at odds with the hunger and desire you need to succeed. Of course, McGregor will have heard these claims before from numerous different parties, and in the past, he has suggested people who make these claims are simply jealous, but it is hard to picture the notorious out running the Dublin streets at 6 a.m. every morning. Of course, this harks back to the old Marvin Hagler quote when he once said, "It's tough to get out of bed to do road work at 5 a.m. when you're sleeping in silk pajamas." And it is this sort of thing that Tyson is alluding to. McGregor, when taking time out from punching old men in pubs and fronting up to Machine Gun Kelly, has regularly been pictured holidaying on his private yacht, which again suggests he isn't at one with reality, a reality which is needed when going to war with any man in a cage. He is also currently #1 on the world's highest paid athletes, which backs up Tyson's comments. And finally, some positive McGregor news. It was reported earlier today, April 14th, that Conor McGregor has returned to sparring for the first time since breaking his leg against Dustin Poirier last year. As part of his continued rehab, McGregor took to the boxing ring to get in some rounds with his training partner and is now in the final stages of his recovery, which has gotten fans excited for his return later this year. A beefed-up looking McGregor, looking in shape whilst wearing protective headgear, which suggests we might get to see him sooner rather than later, and move up to welterweight, is looking more and more likely for McGregor, and these photos will put the division on notice. But of course, they probably won't carry the same anxiety in UFC welterweights they once might have. McGregor posted photos to his social media in the Crumlin Boxing Club in his native Dublin, captioning the post with "My first spar," which some have suggested is just a publicity stunt. As if he was truly interested in fighting Usman, he maybe wouldn't be so bothered about posting his first spar on his social media accounts. What do you guys make of the photos? Give us your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thanks for stopping by, and remember to swing by next time for some more fun reveals. Also, why not do us a solid by liking and sharing today's video, as well as subscribing to our channel if you haven't already done so. Bye guys!